rocker. I'm off in the holler sun with them holler boys.
Yo, what up, everybody?
What's good?
This is Father Son Reaction.
Yes, sir.
We bring you another video tonight. Tonight we're gonna hit on the part 2
Yes, sir.
of the biggest music industry screw job ever.
This is
the part 2.
This has been a crazy freaking debacle that they're in with who is it?
Billboard.
Or the Billboard essentially. They offered them the back end of their store. They wouldn't take it. I'd like to see what he has to say now.
They won't do shit for them.
Nope.
So apparently it's not got better from the title, and it's I can't wait to see what he's got to say.
Yes,
and
sir.
I think it's like 10 minutes long, so we're gonna go ahead and get into it.
Yes, sir. Y'all be sure to like, share, subscribe, and click that notification bell.
Yes, sir.
Let's do this.
Welcome to part 2 of the biggest industry screw job ever. Now, I've got good news, I've got shocking news, and I've got bad news. Here's a quick recap. Unlike everybody else, the physical copies of our new album, The Brave, will not be counted towards the Billboard charts. The good news is we are #1 independently on 8 different Billboard charts
Yes,
with our new
sir.
album, The Brave.
Fucking
And
love
that
it.
doesn't even include solo artist charts. That's just album charts. It's pretty crazy. Billboard
baby.
even wrote an article about how incredible we did. So first and foremost,
Hell
thank
yeah.
you. This is an incredible feat to accomplish for any artist, even major label artists. And we did it independently. And when I say we, I mean me and Adam and Nova and all of you guys. The 8 #1s you see on the charts right now only exist solely because of you. I pointed out what I felt like were injustices. I let you guys know that I felt like we weren't being given a fair shake, and all of you rallied with me. This is literally what raging against the machine can accomplish. The most valuable tool of change is one very simple thing: information. I gave you all the information I had about how.
I'm sorry, I just gotta say this. We're avid wrestling fans. Have been for many
Yep.
years. You know, we used to watch WWE before they turned to shit,
Yeah.
and now we watch
AEW.
AEW. But every time he closes his eyes, it makes me think of Jeff Hardy's face paint.
Yep. I see what you think.
I just
see
had
what
to
you're
say
talking
that.
about. Yeah.
But and then on top of that is he's right as far as he's making an impact with his fans. His fans care so much about him
Yeah.
that we're
sitting there pushing this shit.
everything.
Yeah.
You know, we try to react to as much stuff from him, Adam,
Church.
any
Yeah.
of them that we're trying to get. We want to build up the independent industry. Screw the music industry.
Yeah.
We want, or the mainstream.
Yeah.
We want to try to push these guys, and they're stars already. I mean, obviously they're stars. So
They're making history.
absolutely.
How they were doing us dirty and screwing us on these charts. And let me be very clear, we did not get the change that we were after, but we made a massive impact. And speaking of powerful information, I have more for you. Let's get into the bad and shocking news, shall we? First of all, y'all remember that data collection company we were talking about? The one who reports all of our downloads, streams, and views to Billboard? The one who refused to count our physical albums towards these charts? Well, that data company and Billboard are both owned by the same global media company. I just found that out, which explains why Billboard took zero action when we reported to them that the data collection company.
Wow.
Do you remember I told you, I was like, wait a minute. He said in that video, Billboard has always been really cool with them.
Yeah.
And I said to you, I was like, why did Billboard not step in?
Yeah.
If they're paying this data collection company to collect their data, does Billboard not want it to be right?
But it's not
They-
under Billboard. It's under a parent.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what we just learned here.
Yep.
It's all owned by the same person, so
Yep.
that means Billboard wasn't being as transparent and as cool as he thought they were.
Yep.
was refusing to count our physical sales. We just gotta suck it up and move on. And like I said in my last video, I don't really have a problem with Billboard. Billboard's always treated us really good. But I'd be lying if I said when I found out that they were a part of a massively dysfunctional system that it wasn't extremely frustrating and disheartening. Billboard, I am hella disappointed in you. Anyway,
Same.
let's get into the specifics about the charts that were released today. Remember that article I talked about that Billboard released about how incredibly successful our new album was? Check this out. It says, and I quote, Tom MacDonald and Adam Calhoun's The Brave bows at #1 on Billboard's top album sales charts, selling 16,000 copies in the US in the week ending March 10th, according to the data collection company. Now, note that they are only referencing digital copies when they're talking about these 16,000 units. It goes on to say this. Elsewhere in the top 10 of top album sales, Dolly Parton's new Run Rose Run starts at #2. One Direction's former #1, 4, re-enters at #3 after a new vinyl release. Now, further down in the article, they reference Dolly Parton and One Direction again. Also, shout out to Dolly Parton. She is a badass and a legend.
Yes,
and my
she
girlfriend
is.
Nova loves Nick Jonas, so shout out to One Direction too. Or did Nick Jonas in the Jonas? Whatever, who cares? Anyway, and I quote, of Run Run Rose's 15,500 copies sold, physical sales comprise of 11,500 and digital sales comprise of 4,000. One Direction, who Nick Jonas is not in, One Direction's former #1, 4, returns to top album sales, re-entering at #3 after a new red vinyl pressing was released exclusively via Urban Outfitters. In total, in the week ending March 10th, 4 sold 9,000 copies. Nearly all from vinyl sales. So they're counting Dolly Parton's physical CD sales, and they're counting One Direction's vinyl sales, but they're refusing to count mine and Adam Calhoun's physical CD sales for The Brave? Real freaking cool, guys. Real cool. Now, you might be wondering, Tom, I get it. They wouldn't count your physical CDs, and that's a pain in the butt. But how big of a difference would that really make? Let me tell you exactly how big of a difference that would make. At the beginning of this video, I told you about the 8 #1s that our new album, The Brave, had racked up. However, there are 2 very important charts that I did not mention. The Billboard Top 200 album chart and the Billboard Independent Albums chart. Let's get into how we did on those charts.
Now, see, I didn't even know there was an independent
I didn't
album
either.
chart. So
They have spots
Okay,
for
hold
independent artists, but they can't account for an independent artist's physical copy.
that makes no fucking sense to me.
It makes no sense.
That makes no fucking sense to me. You have a
And they said they had a system set up for independent artists for them to get their physical copy sales, all that, and they didn't do it.
That
They were
blows
offered
my mind.
everything they needed, and they wouldn't do it.
that blows my
It's
mind.
bullshit.
Shall we? First, let's look at the Billboard Top 200 charts. Easily the most prestigious of all Billboard album charts. Our new album, The Brave, charted at 14. Had our physical albums been accounted for, we would have landed at #2, with less than 2,000 units separating us from the #1 spot on the most prestigious Billboard album chart in existence. That's a difference of 12 very important spots. And that's a big friggin' deal, dude. Furthermore, we had planned to release our physical albums and our digital albums on the same day weeks ago. But because of our extremely long, frustrating, and ultimately pointless conversation with the data collection company, we were forced to change an entire 6-week campaign and release our digital albums and physical albums on different dates. Now, this is the craziest part to me. Let's take a look at the Billboard Independent Album charts. Our new album, The Brave, charted at #4. You might be wondering, how is the biggest independent album with 8 #1s 4th on the independent album charts? Well, I'll tell you. But first, you have to understand how Billboard defines independent. And I quote, though not clearly defined, an independent record label is generally considered to be any label that is not part of the big 3 record companies, which consist of Sony Music Entertainment, Warner Music Group, and Universal Music Group. Okay. Billboard
Then that's-
cites the following.
That's not
So
independent.
we just
then.
got our answer.
It's not independent then.
We just got our answer. Because we were sitting here questions like, well, if they've got an independent, Billboard,
not even
then,
independent.
Then why are they not, counting them? Well, we just got our answer. Because they're not truly fucking independent. What a bunch of dumb shit, man.
That is,
What a
definition for use on their top independent albums charts. For Billboard charting purposes, defining an independent album is done on a title level and based on its distribution. Okay. If an album is sold by an independent distributor or one of the major labels' independent distribution arms, it is classified as an independent title and can chart on our top independent albums tally. What? Note that this definition does not exclude record labels owned by other large corporations from being classified as independent. Okay, buddy. you can't make this stuff up. You could not write this if you tried. I mean, apparently they did try and they wrote it and there it is, and it's horse hockey. So to top the independent albums charts, you don't even have to be independent. You know, this whole thing is wrapped up in so much bureaucracy and BS and parent companies and conglomerates and monopolies and blah, blah, blah. It's like, can we just admit at this point that the game is rigged? Major labels and mainstream artists have the entire industry on lock. Can't you just give the independent awards to the truly independent artists? This is the independent albums charts. You can do your own research on the chart, but in my mind, you don't have to look any. That this definition does record label. You can't make this stuff up. You could not write this if you tried. I mean, apparently they did try and they wrote it, and there it is, and it's horse hockey. So to top the independent albums charts, you don't even have to be independent. You know, this whole thing is wrapped up in so much bureaucracy and BS and parent companies and conglomerates and monopolies and blah, blah, blah. It's like, can we just admit at this point that the game is rigged? Major labels and mainstream artists have the entire industry on lock. Can't you just give the independent awards to the truly independent artists? This is the independent.
Encanto, which is a Spanish song from a movie.
I don't even know that.
What It Means to Be King from King Von. Bad Bunny, and there's The Brave. Really?
King Von, first of all, that's not independent.
And neither is Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny is damn sure not independent.
And I'm sure Carlos Vivas isn't either.
In albums charts. You can do your own research on the chart, but in my mind, you don't have to look any further than number one. Encanto, distributed by Disney. Disney's independent? Seriously? Walt f***ing Disney? Disney's net worth is $97 billion. They have their own streaming channel on Apple TV. They're one of the most renowned household names on planet Earth. And you're telling me that it's appropriate that Walt Disney competes with us on the same
That pisses me the fuck off.
That
makes me so mad.
They have no spot there. It's called independent albums for a reason.
And I know he read off what they consider independent.
But that's not independent.
But every word that he read from their explanation made zero fucking sense to me.
Stupid.
Zero fucking sense.
charts? So your answer is our new album, The Brave, is number 4 on the independent album charts because in no way, shape, or form do these charts accurately represent truly independent artists. The independent artists who write their own music, produce their own music, release their own music, invest all of their time, money, and energy into the success of their own music without any help from any record label of any kind, and no 97 billion Disney dollars either. So don't get me wrong, these 8 number ones are extremely cool. It's a demonstration of how powerful people are when they're up against the machine.
And Tom is ticked off too. You
Oh,
can
yeah.
tell.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, he has the right. He has a right to be.
Yeah.
Because they have totally bullshitted him in this entire situation.
And he's not the only one. Him and Adam's not the only
No.
ones that's getting fucked in the
No.
situation. You know, you got all these independent artists like Burden, Mises, Church,
They're screwing them all over.
Topher, all these guys.
It's stupid. It's
And
bullshit.
the list can go on and on. I got a hell of a lot more to say, but
But as cool as these 8 number ones may be, they are not the Billboard Top 200. And to go number 1 or number 2 or even top 5 on the Billboard Top 200 can have a real major positive impact on an independent artist's career. These 8 number ones are the industry's way of acknowledging the absolute bare minimum and expecting us to dance around our living rooms in celebration. Look, I'm not being ungrateful, but looking at something from the outside in doesn't always give you an accurate picture of the situation. You can use this quote across the many varied situations that you'll encounter in life. If we celebrate the crumbs, then it is crumbs that we are given. So instead of celebrating, I will just say that I am extremely proud of all of us rising to the occasion together. I will say that I am incredibly thankful for each and every single one of you who joined me in this charge against the mainstream music industry. I will say that I will forever cherish these accolades and look back at this situation as a massive success. But I will not celebrate a small victory when we were screwed out of the opportunity to win the war. So the fight continues for all independent musicians everywhere. And the fight will continue until we're given the same appreciation, respect, and acknowledgement that all of the major label artists are given by the powers that be who have deemed them worthy. The music industry has once again found a way to screw the little guy. But that's not a reason to stop. It's a reason to go. One way or another, there will be a positive revolution within the music industry in regards to independent artists. And we'll be able to look back on these videos and this situation and this point in time, and we'll be able to say, hey, I was integral in that. We were the torchbearers that started that revolution.
That's right.
No matter how many losses it takes to get there, we're part of history. Congratulations to everybody out there on these 8 number ones. It's an incredible achievement. I love you all. Thank you once again. It's Hangover Gang forever. Peace.
That's right. Yo, he broke it down the best that anybody could break it down. Best that anybody could break down at all.
Yep.
Right there at the end.
Literally told us everything about Billboard, you know.
Well, I mean, when it comes down to it,
And Tom is one of the biggest ones in calling out the music industry.
oh yeah.
Mainstream music, you know.
Well, I mean, he actually makes videos about it. You know,
He is the biggest
detailed
independent
videos.
artist. In my eyes, you know, that fights the music industry, that fights that battle. You know, he fights it more than anybody.
Yeah.
Because he is so out there. And that's what I love about Tom, is he's actually fighting for, you know, what he does. Because he is truly independent. And nobody can beat that.
Yeah, he said it best right there at the end when he said that he could have won the war.
Yep.
And he could have, or they could have won the war together.
They should have.
And it's bullshit that because the powers that be, as he said, and it is, it's the same thing in government. I hate to bring that up, but it is. It's the
Yep.
same thing. It's all about,
Like I said in the last video, the music industry is the government, or, you know, it's the government of
the music industry.
Yeah, of the music
Yeah,
industry.
So, I don't know. We're just as frustrated as y'all are.
Yep.
I mean, it's bullshit. We don't want to see our favorite artists go through bullshit like
No.
this. And that we back these guys 110%.
Yep.
And I don't know.
I only got one more thing to say.
It's kind of got me pissed off.
Fuck mainstream.
All right,
Squad,
y'all.
baby.
Y'all have a good night.
Yes, sir.
Be sure to
Like, share, subscribe, and click that notification bell.
Creed Squad, baby.
Creed Squad.